Okay, in this video we're going to be tying the pheasant tail nymph. It's a variation. It's going to be a bead head, green bead head pheasant tail nymph flashback. In the vise I have a size 14 curved 2 times long nymph hook. I already have that bead installed. We're going to start the thread right behind the bead. Get a few turns in it. Whoop. Rip off your excess. Now we're going to tie all the way back to the barb of the hook. For the tail, we're going to be using pheasant tail, of course. We want to strip maybe 8 to 10 fibers off of this pheasant tail. And we're going to make this tail about the length of the shank of the hook. Make sure it's on top. Now we're going to take and add your ribbing. That's going to be some fine gold wire. We're going to tie that in. And then we're going to tie everything all the way up to the bead of that, all the way up to the bead, and tying that all in together gives it a little thicker profile. Okay, so now we're going to tie back what you can also do to get that tail to stand up a little bit, put a wrap underneath. That'll help stand it up. Excuse me. Now the next step for the body, we're going to use more pheasant tail. Let's see if I have any left on this wing that I can use. You want to try to find the longest stuff you can for the body. And we're going to tie that in by the tips. We're going to cut the very tips of the fibers off. You want to tie that in. Okay. Now we're going to take our hackle pliers. We're going to give them a twist. Wrap back up to the thorax. And we'll start wrapping our body. we get up right to about there, roughly where the thorax is going to start, we'll tie him off real good. Take and trim the excess out. Okay, so now we're going to take our ribbing and wrap it in the opposite direction to secure that pheasant tail body. Try to get nice and even spaced ribs. Gives it that segmented look. You get to the end, tie it off. Cut your excess gold wire off. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to tie in is a piece of flashaboo. That'll give us our flashy wing casing covering. Tie that in right on top. Like so. And then next, we're going to go back to the pheasant tail wing. And we're going to pull a generous clump of fibers this time because we're going to be using this both to pull over the wing casing, and also we're going to make legs with it. So you want to have quite a bit. So we're going to take and we're going to put that far enough back on this hook shank so when we fold it over the wing casing, we'll still have enough material to make legs out of it. Trim the excess. Like so. Okay, the next thing we're going to tie in, take 2 peacock herls. We're going to trim them butt ends off. And we're going to tie them in by the butt ends. Now we're going to wrap that peacock herl around. And we're also going to double it back over. I like to make this thorax nice and bushy. So we get that secured down. Trim that excess off. Okay. Now we're going to take those fibers that we have from our wing casing, and we're going to fold them back to the front. To get our wing casing made. Now what we're going to do is we're going to separate some of those fibers to make our legs. Once you get them kind of separated evenly, fold them back and put a couple wraps. And that'll give you your legs. Once you have them separated and tied back, pull your flashaboo over, keep it right on top, and cinch it down real good. This stuff's kind of slippery, so you want to make sure you got as much pressure on it as you can. Okay. Trim that off as close as you can. Now what I like to do, put a 5 or 6 turn whip finish on it. And then you take some UV clear, put it over the wing casing and the threads, and get a little bit over that flashaboo material in the front where you cut it, and it'll make a nice smooth transition. Make this fly super durable. Take your UV light and cure it. And there you have it. That's a bead head flashback pheasant tail. Great fly for trout, steelhead. Basically, you're taking a tried and true pattern and you're kind of spicing it up and making it a little flashier. And I suggest you put this pattern in your box and give it a try. And I thank you for watching this video. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel.